Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Intrusive Thoughts by Adam Rippon. You guessed it. It's me here again, Adam Rippon. How are you doing? I hope really well. I'm well. I'm glad you asked. I have a few things that we need to talk about. All right. Number one, housekeeping, number one. I want to say, how grateful I am for all of the voicemails and now text messages, because I guess you could have always texted the number, which is 310-909-7117, as you all know by now. But I just realized that you could text that number. So we've been getting a few texts, and by a few, I mean 2. And one of them was, yes, you guessed it, the wrong number. So a big shout out to whomever is looking for a Miguel. I really do hope that you find him soon. I did not respond to that, so they probably are still looking for him. Not really our problem. But if he listens to the podcast, which I'm sure he does, he'll know that that was the wrong number. And again, yes, thank you for the voicemails. It's always great to have them, even though there have been 1 or 2 episodes where maybe I never even got to them, but I want you to know that they mean a lot to me. Okay, they keep the show going. They're the oil in the gears. And number 2, housekeeping. To everybody who's reviewed the show, wow, good on you. Now here's the thing: we really need to pick up the pace on the reviews. All right, and I'm gonna say this. I will give our 1000th review. I will choose one person by random, and I'll give you. This is tough because I'm kind of binding myself. How about we $100? Okay, and then when we get to 5,000 reviews, which let me tell you, we're so close to 5,000. You can imagine how close we are if I'm kind of on my hands and knees begging for 1,000. 5,000, I'll do $1,000. All right. That's just so that we can keep the momentum going. I'm just saying that. Those are our 2 housekeeping things. And now right back into the show, right? I'm getting right back into it because I do have something that's weighing heavy on my heart. It's weighing heavy on my heart. And so, you know me, I'm not one to bury things down. I'm one to kind of immediately tell absolutely everybody what that is. And so why would I change who I am? I'm not going to let this fame, this podcast fame, get to me. I'm going to let it get out of me is what I'm going to do. And this is what it is. So as you know, on this podcast, I have kind of intimately shared that at one point, maybe even a week ago, I was 173 American standard metric pounds. And I'm pleased to announce that after a great deal of work and panic, I have found my way back down to the 160s, albeit the high 160s. Basically 173. Doesn't really matter, but I found my way there. And I know that I'm absolutely, completely insane. And I also know that being at 173, it was probably because I truly drank like 5 Coke Zeros. There's something in there that makes me retain the water. All right. Just, you got to believe me on that. So I lost all the Coke Zero weight is what I'm saying. Thank God I took all of that Coke Zero weight off. You know, it's like sometimes you hear yourself say something and you go, you should go on ZocDoc.com and really search for somebody who can kind of help you work through that. Regardless, I don't have time to do that. I have to talk about what's on my mind, what's weighing heavy on my heart. And what is that? As I've mentioned just moments ago, I am on a health journey, and that, every journey has its peaks and valleys. And I would say, I've been in the valleys, kind of finding my way through the trenches. That's fine. like I said, peaks and valleys. So I'm on my way to a peak now. As you know, I've dropped they always say the dreaded weight brought on by a 0-calorie diet beverage. I've dropped it finally. Free. I'm free. And on my health kick, health journey, you can imagine, and maybe you can't imagine, so I'll dive deep into this, that while I've been on my health kick, I've been trying to find different recipes on TikTok, on Instagram that have high protein, because I'm not sure if you do know this, but if you are on a health journey and you are trying to grow your breast to the size of 2 giant honeydew melons, that's kind of the track that I'm on. I want to have the body of a Love Islander, because as you can see, if you're watching this, but even if you're not watching this, I currently have the hair of a douchebag Love Islander from Australia. And that's what I am going for. Okay, now back to me. And enough about Australia. So I've been looking for these recipes that have a lot of protein. One might even say that are high protein. Okay. And I'm looking for these different recipes, and I'm very skeptical of the carnivore diet. I know a few people who are really into it, and I got to tell you, there's nothing that makes me more sick to my stomach than seeing someone dip a tri-tip steak into the uncooked yolk of a farm fresh egg. That does make me want to fucking barf. I don't find that appealing. I don't find that interesting in the slightest. It'll never be me. Let's just get that out of the way. I somehow believe that like a vegetable is good for you, right? And a fruit, I can't do life without a fruit. So these carnivore diets they're not the ones that I'm looking for. I'm looking for like the hacks, right? They're like, hey, over here, I want to tell you a little bit about this hack. And some of them are pretty good, right? You know, some of them are completely the dumbest thing you've ever heard of in your life. One of the ones that I heard of is cheeseburger soup. That was one I found. And believe me, I made it. And what is it? Well, it's just, 5 packs of ground beef and cheese. I told you I wasn't doing carnivore. Doesn't sound vegetable friendly. It's not. There's not a vegetable in sight. It's cheeseburger soup. And they're like, if you just have a giant bowl of this, it's like a vat. It's like Oliver Twist going up asking for seconds. Please, sir, can I have some more? They're like, if you eat this whole entire vat of ground beef, it's 80 grams of protein in one sitting. And so, when I first see that, I go, oh my God, that's genius. And then when you see it in front of you, you go, that's a cow, full grown cow in front of me in a bowl, chopped up into bits. So, it's not easy on the eyes when you see it that way. A lot of brown, I think sometimes it's good that your food can have some color in it. Disorienting when that color is only brown and white and orange. We should think about that. Sometimes we forget. So I have seen recipes like that, and I've seen like some hacks, whatever. But there's nothing that gets me more upset than when I see something that looks so promising, because I'm trying to find the protein through like food, right? Through like real food. You might be thinking, what do you mean? Cheeseburger soup is food. Yeah, it is. I agree with you. That is real food. But what's not real food is that when you come across, and I say this in quotes, a hack, and this recipe is from somebody who is, I would consider, a hack. And it's watch we make, okay, here we go, start over. Watch me, and play like beautiful music in the background of this. Watch me make a gorgeous breakfast yogurt parfait. Cut the music. And I'm going, all right, here we go. A breakfast Farpay. You can tell I'm getting heated. I can't even speak the language correctly. And the language I am speaking is anger. Now, watch me make a breakfast parfait. Red leather, yellow leather. All right. And I'm going, all right, I like a breakfast yogurt parfait. And the bowl looks very delicate. How did you, because they also claim, watch me make a breakfast yogurt parfait that has 100 grams of protein. My jaw's on the ground. My tongue rolls out like a carpet, like a Looney Tune. I'm going, what? All right. I'm watching. So I'm sitting, I'm watching, and I see they take out the yogurt and they plop, 2 spoonfuls of the yogurt. And then they put a few berries in and they trinkle the berries. They put them down like rain. And then they get to the part where I go, that's not a hack. You're a fucking liar. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about when they take out. Now, next, I'm going to take out the bag of Ballerina Farms protein. Okay. All right. The scoops of protein. That's not real food. That's powdered cow. All right. Go on. And I'm going to put 4 scoops of Ballerina Farms protein. 4 scoops. So you're telling me, wait, back up, bitch. You're telling me, back up to the fucking Ballerina Farm. You're telling me that there was no protein in your fucking yogurt parfait, breakfast yogurt parfait. None until you added 4 fucking scoops of Ballerina Farms protein. It doesn't even need to be Ballerina Farms, but it's always some bitch with a bag of Ballerina Farms fucking protein. I put 4 scoops of protein in here. That's not real food. Right? And they stir it all up and they melt that protein down. Like I said, that's powdered cow. They melt that down into their light yogurt, sugar-free yogurt. They melt that down and all of a sudden it eventually starts to look like yogurt again. And they take one bite. Oh gosh. It's dulce leche flavored. Okay. Is it now? I'm sure anything would be dulce leche flavored if you put 4 scoops of Ballerina fucking Farms protein in it. Now is a good time to mention that they are a sponsor. No, they're not. Could you imagine? I'm like, that's my sponsored ad for the show. No way. I've never had it, and I'm open to trying. I'm sure it's delicious. They have amazing flavors. All right, but here's my problem with that. Yes, okay, you've added 100 grams of protein into your yogurt parfait. All right, great. But if I put 4 scoops of protein powder in my sneaker, I could say, hey, everybody, I've got a hack. If you want your sneakers to be 100 grams of protein, all you got to do is put 4 scoops of protein powder inside the shoe and then just keep chewing and swallowing until it's gone. Because that's how you would add 100 grams of protein to your sneaker, right? So if you can add the same amount of protein to your fucking pairs of shoes that you can to your yogurt bowl, I don't think it's a hack. Again, I don't think that's real food. I'm all for a protein powder. Believe me, I'm all for it. But I think that once we get past the 1 scoop, I think you're allowed 1 scoop of protein powder per meal, right? Once you get past the 1, I'm going, that's not a hack. That's not a hack. You're cheating. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe we'll get a chemist or a doctor on here being like, no, it's completely fine to have 4 scoops of 25 grams of protein, which would equal 100 grams of protein, making her yogurt parfait 100 grams of protein. I mean, maybe, but I cannot imagine that it's correct. Because again, I could add the same amount of protein powder to my sneakers and I could fucking chew on them. And that would also be 100 grams of protein. Okay, regardless. No hate, just love, everyone. No hate, just love. But I just don't think that's a hack. Now, what I do think is a hack is this. Now, this is truly the number one thing that I've had that I've walked away going, oh, yeah, no, they really tore that up. They tore it out of control with this hack. And that's the Ninja Creamy. Okay, I don't know if you know what the Ninja Creamy is, but it's basically this. It sounds like Blue Origin flight taking off when you're making it. Like, it's the loudest machine in the fucking world. But basically, the idea is that it comes with like 3 tubs. Okay, you could get more tubs, whatever. It comes with 3. This is, well, at least if you get it from Costco. Okay. So you fill up a tub with a liquid and you fill it to a certain point and then you freeze that liquid. They say for 24 hours, believe me, you can get away with 8. It's fine. What's going to happen? The Ninja Corporation's going to come over and scold you. It still works. 8 hours is fine. They say 24. Okay. That's my second hack is you don't listen to the directions. Don't listen to those directions. That's a fool's errand to read those all the way through and listen to them, for God's sake. 8 hours will be fine. And you fill that up and then you put it into the Creamy device. You lock it in and load it. And if you've ever done it, you know it's like click, click, tick, tick. It's like click, clack. Like it sounds like you're loading a gun. And then when you hit start, it sounds louder than a firing gun. Okay? I'm telling you, it's the loudest machine ever. Like, where do I use the Ninja Creamy? I use it in our bathroom downstairs so that I can put it in an isolated panic room and close the door and then walk away from it. Like, I can't even have it in the kitchen because it sounds like it's going to take flight. So I want you to know that. So there's different things that you can, make in there that when you start it, there's this blade that's like industrial looking and feeling, but it cuts through the frozen product. And sometimes, and basically every time, you got to respin it too. They don't tell you that, but you've got to choose a setting and it tells you different settings, how like thick the consistency will be. So like there's an ice cream and there's a gelato and there's a light ice cream and there's a milkshake one. So that's what determines like the speed and the duration of the blade. Okay. And when it's all done, whatever frozen liquid you had in there comes out and is the smoothest, like ice cream feeling concoction. And this truly is a game changer. Now, I've done some of the recipes that it comes with where it shows you how to literally make a true ice cream. Or, it has the sugar and, the milk and you're beating the eggs and all of that stuff. Like you're making an ice cream. And let me tell you, it's delicious. It's amazing. But then when you go online, you can find the people who have hacked the system. And I'm telling you, this is a hack. Because I love ice cream. Ooh, baby, I love ice cream. And with this ice cream hack, I'll tell you what it is. You eyeball it, right? You got to be comfortable in the kitchen to eyeball things. All right. We cannot be wasting time with all of the spoons and the cups and the everything. We have to be comfortable eyeballing things. So I'm going to tell you what I'm eyeballing. And I'm taking out a tablespoon eventually, but we'll get there. You can take out one thing, right? But we just don't need many things. All right. So what I'm taking the Ninja vessel and I'm putting it right onto the table. And in that vessel, I put about 2 cups of milk. Yeah, I'm a dairy guy. I'm a cow's milk kind of girl. So cow's milk, 2 cups. Then I'm doing 1 scoop of protein powder. I know I just went on a full, rant on the protein powder, but 1 scoop, right? I'm not trying to fool anyone that this is 100 grams. Like I said, I think 1 scoop you're allowed. 2 scoops, 1 scoop, shame on me. 2 scoops, shame on you. So we're sticking with the 1 scoop. And you might think, okay, then you just freeze it. No, there's a vital component to this that changes everything. And that vital component is you need to add 1 tablespoon of sugar-free. Sorry for my haters of aspartame and all things sugar-free. Tablespoon of instant Jell-O pudding mix. Listen, if you're a hater of Splenda, aspartame, all of that stuff, use the sugar one. Okay? Knock yourself out, be my guest. The tablespoon of pudding mix pushes this thing over the edge. Okay? Because there's so many things out there that are like a hack. And when you taste it, you're like, no, this is tasty, but it's obviously not the original. Like, it's a, how do I say this? I mean, you know what I'm saying, where it's like the only person this is fooling is no one, right? Is the eyes. Because when the eyes look at it, they go, yeah, this could be just like it. And then you taste it and it just has this little science taste to it where you're like, that wasn't made with real butter. And you just, you know that, you feel it. But with this, okay. So what I'm doing, I'm eyeballing. Now I'm like an old seasoned pro at it. I'm eyeballing 2 cups of cow's milk. I'm adding 1 scoop of vanilla protein powder, and then I'm adding 1 tablespoon of vanilla sugar-free Jell-O pudding mix. I freeze that. Sometimes if I'll do it the night before, then you're getting your 24 hours so the Ninja company can stay well rested and at peace. But sometimes I'm making it in the morning because I know I'm going to want that sweet fucking treat. So I make that in the morning, put it in the freezer. And then at night, when I'm watching, let's just say Love Island, for instance, I pop out the Ninja Creamy machine. I throw it right into the bathroom, like I said, and I make my bathroom ice cream. Now I do the light ice cream setting. It takes 4 minutes. I clean up the kitchen. I'm cleaning the kitchen. Sparkling clean. I go back. When I open the Ninja Creamy machine, yeah, you'll look at it and you go, that's not ice cream. That's dust. It's powder. What happened? Don't worry. Okay? Don't worry. It's all part of the process. Because milk is not supposed to be ice cream. So you're tricking this biome into being something else, right? So it's going to take 8 minutes because you're going to go back and you're going to click, lock and load the Ninja machine back up. And you're going to go right back to the light ice cream setting, another 4 minutes. So this whole process is going to take you 8 minutes, 30 seconds because you got to lock and load. All right. But you're going to respin it. You're going to finish up the kitchen because it's dirty. It can be dirty when you're in there cleaning up. There's grease on the stove, on the counters. It's got to be spotless. And your reward for a spotless kitchen is 8 minutes later, you go back into the bathroom, not to use it, but to get your ice cream. You earned it. You earned it. And you open that thing up and it's silky fucking smooth. And I'm going to tell you, when you take the first bite, I'm not even kidding. Now, this is why I'm like, this is a hack. Because you know that poor lady eating her breakfast yogurt parfait is chewing and chomping. Big old swallows. Trying to scarf down 4 scoops of I probably wasn't 4. I probably added a scoop every time I tell the story. So as you can imagine, if we're at 4 scoops, I've told the story 3 times before. As she's chewing through 5 scoops of protein. Again, it's going to get bigger and bigger. She's got to chew through that. That's got to be chewy, right? It can't be enjoyable. Okay. Because that, it's not really a hack. But when you take your first bite of your Ninja Creamy vanilla protein ice cream, I mean, it truly is one of the most decadent ice creams I've ever had. It's delicious. It is so phenomenally good. I don't crave ice cream at all. I'm not taking one bite of this ice cream going, it's a good replacement. No, I feel like I'm at Ben and Jerry's home in Vermont that they just took me through the beautiful ice cream graveyard and we mourned all the lost flavors. And then we sat down at the kitchen table with Ben and with Jerry, and I'm enjoying everybody. That's how good this ice cream feels. That's how good this ice cream tastes. Not a hack. It's a lifestyle, right? Like that's the number one takeaway that I've gotten. Like, fuck cheeseburger fucking soup, right? You can take that and you can shove it right up your ass. I'm sure that's a quicker way to absorb some of the protein. So I'm joking, but maybe I'm serious. But what I'm saying is, and I'll leave the protein rant at this, that when you make your bathroom ice cream with the Ninja Creamy, you will not go back to normal ice cream, because I actually prefer this. And it's a family recipe now. Okay, it's a family recipe, and I'm sharing it with you, my beautiful voicemail callers, podcast listeners, and podcast reviewers, because you've all given this 5 stars by now, I'm sure, after this rant, after I really kind of took down Ballerina Farms, which had nothing. They're a reputable, honest company, all right? This has nothing to do with them. I just needed to say something about somebody, and I'm sorry they got caught in the crossfire. But I don't want to distract you. Like I said, the Ninja Creamy bathroom ice cream is phenomenal. That's the only hack that I've ever had where I was like, this is, if not just as good as the original, maybe better. It doesn't make me crave ice cream at all. And so that's the hack. And that's truly how I dropped my weight so quickly into the high 160s. And yeah, it's a success story that I'll be doing a TED Talk on, even longer than this. Like, yeah, I've found a way to talk about the Ninja Creamy and protein for about 30 minutes, but I'll find a way to make it an hour. Believe me. And on that note, I feel like let's get right into the voicemails.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hi, Adam. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Wanted to get your thoughts on a problem that has plagued gay men for millennia, and that is having to deal with the slow walkers. I'm from the Midwest, so I deal with this so often, whether it be at the airport or at Costco, anywhere. How do you deal with the intrusive thoughts of just wanting to scream at them, get out of my way? And that is all. Okay, thanks, bye.
Okay. I have to say, God, okay. I'm going to tell you this, that I absolutely feel your pain and the disdain that you have for people who walk slow. Sneaker shufflers. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Pick up your fucking feet. Pick up your damn feet. Okay, I feel you. I want you to know I feel you. But I want you to know something else, that I was raised by a fast walking woman. Okay, so I don't even think it's just gay men that this has been plaguing. It's been plaguing also a certain woman I know called my mother, who was 5'2". And if you're from Pennsylvania, from the Scranton area even, and you've ever seen a fast walking blonde woman in a wooden clog in the early 2000s walking quickly, that was my mom, and that's who raised me. My mom's walking 20 miles an hour, and she'll leave anybody behind. And she always has this excuse of well, I have to walk fast because I'm so much shorter than everyone. Well, yeah, but she's also genetically designed to whoop your ass down the sidewalk, and she will charge down there. So that's how I was raised. I was raised, hey, we pick our feet up in this house and on this sidewalk. We walk quickly. We have somewhere to go. We have calories to burn. We have to get down from 173 to the high 160s quick. Ballerina Farms ain't helping us now. We've got to do this on our own. And so that's how I was raised. I was raised with the metronome going click, 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 click. I was raised that way. So I'm predisposed to being a fast walker. Now, there's a few times where, God, it doesn't really pay to be a fast walker. One, when you're walking with a group of people who are like medium paced. You know, nothing will make you feel like you're wearing shoes that are 10 times too big than like trying to find the right pace. And you're like, how in the world is this comfortable for you to be walking this slow? I don't understand. I don't understand. It feels good to walk at a fast pace for me. You know, I don't really believe in a leisurely stroll. I'm not one to stroll in a leisurely way or fashion. I like the feeling of the wind blowing through my mullet because, believe me, I'm walking fast enough where I can feel that wind. Like I said, my mom, 5'2", 20 miles an hour. Wooden clogs, open-backed shoes. She's wearing open-back shoes. Going 20 miles an hour. Going, come on, let's go. Pick up your feet. Leaving... Oh my God, people in her dust. And that's, like I said, like that's how I was taught to walk. So that's how I believe it should be done. And yeah, it can be really tough when you're walking with friends because it's like a mortifying experience of like, where did these monsters learn how to travel? Like, what is going on? Like, let's go. We could have been there 5 minutes ago. So that's a real tough pill to swallow because also there is a time and a place where you realize maybe I am walking a bit fast. You know, maybe I'm walking a bit fast because people around me are huffing and puffing, right? They're patting their chest, looking for their inhalers that they've not pulled out in years. And you're going, yeah, you're kind of making your friends go through an exercise-induced asthma attack. Maybe you need to slow it down a bit. And it takes so much control to slow down the walking. But I get told when I'm walking with friends that I need to slow it down. So I do for them as a courtesy. They couldn't do me the courtesy of walking a bit faster, but I can do them the courtesy of walking much slower. Okay? So don't ever tell me I'm not a good person because a good person does that. Right? That's what a good person does. But when there are others around me that are slow walkers, it's all right. I'm putting on the blinker. Yeah, I'm in my blink, blink, blink. I'm doing the hand signals like I'm on a bike and I'm just going right around them. I don't care how I need to do it. I'm doing it. Like it's a real problem to me when somebody's slowly walking in the middle of the sidewalk and you're behind them and they're just not noticing the heavy pace of walk coming behind them, which is me. They're not noticing that at all. Or maybe they are and they just don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Because I want to walk fast. If they don't want to walk fast, that's fine. But I will, walk into somebody's lawn to kind of go around them. I'll walk onto the street for a second. I'm not making it a big deal, but I'm just making it a point that I'm not going to be, on their ass until we get to a street crossing, right? Because when you get to a street crossing, it's road rules then. You can just go right around. But, if I'm walking somewhere and there's like a boulevard before the street, I'm walking onto the boulevard. I'm walking into somebody's lawn. I'm doing a quick little jog. Hey, sorry. And then I'm fast-paced walking again. I'm not waiting for you, right? Sorry, I'm going around. I got to. Calories are not going to burn themselves. I have protein ice cream waiting for me in the bathroom that I need to get home to. So I deal with it in my own way, where if it's somebody I don't know, I'm going around them. And if it's somebody I know it's time for me to take my time and maybe kind of level with the people. And so that's how I'm dealing with it. And I hope you found some sort of peace with that, where it's like, you know that the fast-paced walk is the best version of a walk. Okay, you know that, and you have to hold on to that tightly and don't ever lose perspective. of it.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hey, Adam. It's Anna from St. Louis. I have been a longtime listener, first-time caller. When I saw that you were coming out with a podcast again, I was elated. It got me through some actually pretty dark days of postpartum recovery. I had a baby in January, and your podcast was kind of a little gem that I looked forward to every week. I do want to ask, so as a mother of a 2.5-year-old and now a 5-month-old baby, I have a lot of friends who don't have babies, still trying to stay connected with them and, be the fun girl I used to be. Do you have any advice for people out there who are friends with people who have kids? Like, how do you stay connected to your friends that have kids? And as someone who has kids, how do I maybe, be a better friend to my friends without human children? Anyway, thanks so much for everything, and just continue being you. Thanks.
What a beautiful voicemail. I have to say that yes, there is, I've talked about it before, but in that glow up, there is such ugliness in it, but it's kind of the best part. You got to get down and dirty to get up and pretty. You do. And it's it can be really fun if you see it that way and you see that journey. So that's what I was talking about with wanting to make a comeback for yourself. And I'm really touched that resonated with you. But now let's get to the kids and being a mother, which I am not, as you probably could assume. But I am the oldest of 6 kids. So growing up, I was around a lot of kids. And I have friends that have kids now. And I'm going to say a few things. And this might be a bit scattered, but it will all come together in the end. I think because I grew up around a lot of kids, I've always been really aware of how much work, time, and effort that they take. I've been aware of it, but I think I was about 25 when one of my friends had her first baby. And so then at 25, I could see somebody my own age trying to deal with being a first-time parent. And I could really see, as an adult, from a different perspective of how much work having a baby and being a parent was. And I have also friends that don't have any kids. I don't have any kids. I have 2 dogs, right? Love them to death. If we kind of look back, one of them, Tony, who's usually here for almost every episode, is absolutely on his side right now. He looks like a picture of if you had to find cuts of pork, at a butcher. He's kind of just laid down on his side like that. I've completely put him to sleep, by recording this podcast. Actually, I'll get back to this in a second. Every time I'm coming into, and I'm in my office at my house, every time I come into my office and I'm going to record, I yell to Tony and I'm like, Tony, let's go to work. And he gets so excited and he runs in here and he jumps on this ottoman behind me and he poof, lays right down on his side. And he looks like the chart at a butcher of different cuts of pork. So that's my experience of being a mother, which is absolutely none. But this is what I'm going to say. The friends that I have who don't have any kids, some of them are, either only children themselves or they grew up with like one other sibling that was like very close in age to them. And I think it's important that I mention, like I have, that I'm the oldest of 6, because as the oldest of 6, by the time like the 3rd and 4th child that my mom had, and my mom had 6 individual children, like she wasn't doubling up. Like these are 6 different pregnancies. It's kind of like 100 grams of protein in one yogurt bowl, but it's like you had quadruplets. Still, there are 4 people here. Yes, you're right. That's 100 grams of protein, but it was one pregnancy. So I'm saying that because everybody was like spread apart, right? So there was like, I was born in 1989. My youngest sibling was born in the year 2000. Yeah, my mom had kids over 3 different decades and 2 different millennia. That's true. But what's also true is that by the time I was like 10, 11, I was babysitting and I was taking care of the kids in a way that, you know, an 11-year-old can. But I knew the responsibilities and I knew what it was like and I knew how much work and I knew how vigilant you needed to be with like a child. And I'm saying that because the friends that I have, if they have a sibling or if they have another sibling that's like close to them in age, they don't have that perspective of ever having to babysit or like take care of a baby. And I have some friends that like are, I would even say maybe not even understanding of the friend that has the child, like not understanding of like how much time and effort that takes, or that, you know, you can say, hey, I'm free at 5. And then all of a sudden, you know, a baby can be then just decide that they want to start barfing fucking shit at 4:55. So then maybe you're not going out at 5 because your kid has diarrhea out the front and the back. You know, there's nothing you can do. That's just kind of what it's like being a mom or being a parent. And sometimes my friends who don't have kids are like, ugh, that's annoying. And I think that there are a lot of people, and listen, I'm like all for people not having kids. I don't think that I want to have kids, you know, but I think that people who don't have kids need to start showing a little bit more grace to people who do. Because I think that there's like a definite discourse of like, look how happy I am and I have no kids. And there's definitely the discourse of like, I'm pulling my hair out. I'm a mom with 3 kids. Like, who's happier, right? Like, listen, it's all relative because it's not always like sunshine and rainbows having no kids. It's not always, you know, you're in the depths of despair having them. Right? There's like beautiful moments of both. Yes, like one can come with like more freedom, but there's like a beauty in having kids too, right? I'm like convincing you. I'm like, keep the kids. You have 2 of them. One's 5 already. It's a little late. What I'm saying is that I have noticed that there's like friends of mine that, like they might not be that understanding and they'll be annoyed at like, oh God, like things are just like not the same. And I'm like, listen, I think we have to have a real like come to Jesus moment where things staying the same isn't always a good thing, right? Like I'll break this down in figure skating elite athlete talk, right? So sometimes you'll go to a competition and you'll perform and skate amazing, right? Like you'll be amazing. You'll land every jump and you'll just feel like you were in the right headspace and just like everything was coming together. And then you'll get home and you'll start getting ready for the next competition and you'll be like, okay, I just want to do exactly that at my next one or at the most important one that season. I want to do exactly that. And I feel that that's like the worst mentality that anybody can have. Because if you want to do exactly what you did at that one competition that was a year ago, a few months ago, okay, that means that you've not improved at all. Because if you continued to improve, maybe one of those jumps would have gotten a little bit better. or maybe you would have skated a little bit faster, or maybe you would have performed to an even greater extent, right? But if you want to skate exactly or perform exactly how you did a year ago or a few months ago, it means that you've decided that it would be best that you did not improve at all within a year or within a month, right? And that's when you put it like that, it's like, no, things have to change. Things have to evolve. It's not good when things stay the same. And I feel like I can relay that into like, I'm speaking now to like the people who get annoyed when their friends have babies, right? Because I see it and I'm like, I don't understand it. But I understand that like, you don't want to lose your friend, right? And your friend is now like very busy, or they're inconsistent in a way where this person used to be super reliable and always be able to show up at like a moment's notice. And I think for some people, it's like, it's jarring because they can see themselves in their friends like mental totem pole of like what's important falling down in a ranking. And now they're behind this like little human that looks like a fucking raisin, right? I get it. I would not want to be behind a raisin either. But that raisin is going to grow up into a person who's going to be their daughter or their son or whatever, right? So you get it, but you're still mad. But the thing is that like you have this amazing opportunity to like the friend that you have that has the kid is also feeling a lot of anxiety because they're wanting to balance being a parent, and they're also trying to balance having the same friendships and being there for you in the same way, even though they can't. They can be there for you in a different way. But the way that you can be there for them is to be a stress reliever, right? And to be there, and when they can do something, to like make it a really fun thing, because it's not easy being a parent. I say that as somebody who's not one, but I have a lot of friends that are, and I grew up in a big house. I've seen it firsthand. And I think to my fellow listeners out there who like don't have kids and do get annoyed that when their friends have kids because things change, I would say to you that like if things were to stay the same, it means that you've learned nothing. It means that you've matured not at all. It means that you have nothing more to bring to the table, that you are completely okay just leveling out and being done growing. So that's not a good reflection on you. You should take a look in the mirror and be like, okay, how can I get better and improve? And our relationship is growing and changing. And if you're really going to be friends with this person for like years on end, let me tell you, like the baby stages will come and go. But like when we get older, like 20 years is going to pass like that. And you're going to be able to do whatever you want with your friend. But they'll remember how annoying you fucking were when their baby was having diarrhea, right? Like that's what I'm saying. So I think that how can you, our caller, our beautiful caller, how can that sounded so like a Donald Trump thing to say? I'm so sorry that I said that, our beautiful caller. Okay. I'm sure you're gorgeous. Anyway, I take it back. Let's keep it our beautiful caller from St. Louis. I think that you can, touch base with your friends, and there's going to be craziness at your house. You have one young kid and you have a newborn. But don't be afraid, especially if your friends are like, no, we'll come over. Like, I'll come over and we can hang out at the house. Go over and let them hang out at your house. And the thing is, it's like, we know kids cry. We know kids throw fits, right? I think that like, if you're the friend going over, then you're like, okay, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to do it. When your friend needs to take some time and like deal with the baby, like they don't need to apologize for that, right? And if you're the mom, you don't need to apologize for that. That's what babies do. That's why we went to the house, right? It is what it is. You're still spending time together. It's going to be different. But like, you need to realize what your friend who is now the parent is going through, and you need to be there for them and be supportive of them. So that's what I think. And I feel like find ways, if you're like, it's different. Now, I keep going back and forth of like who I'm speaking to. You get it. You know what I'm saying. But if you're the person who does not have the baby, I think that you should find ways you got to win that baby over. You know, go over with a little toy. Go over with like a little something. Make it so that that child feels comfortable around you and they enjoy when you're in their company, because it will be fun when you can integrate them into when you're hanging out. And it will be fun, and they'll understand like, hey, I like this person. I know why my mom or my dad likes hanging out with this person. So I get it. Kids can be really perceptive and they'll like pick up on the situation. But like if you try to exclude them, like there's going to be anxiety from the kid of when you come over. There's going to be anxiety from your friend when you come over, because they're going to know that like you're resistant to the child or the baby being there. So like grow up a little bit. Okay. It's not a good look. I'm telling you, if you are somebody and you're like, I actually don't like that you're saying that, you need to take a look in the mirror, I think, because I don't think that you've been giving your friends some grace. And I think if you're the parent, another thing, you should, if your friends are like wanting to integrate themselves or do things and you're like, hey, can I bring the baby? If they say yes, listen, they signed up for that. And so with the baby's crying at a place, they signed up for that. They know that that's going to happen. They're there to help you and they just want to be around you. So like accept it, right? Like accept the help, accept your friends want to be around you. If they want to go home and you have to, correct one of the kids and pick up toys on the floor or whatever, it's part of it. They just want to be around you. So you don't need to apologize, and you guys can, you can meet each other in the middle. But I think sometimes us folk who don't have kids can show a little bit more grace and understanding to our friends that do, because it's a full-time, 24-hour, nonstop job being a mom, being a dad, being a parent. Like it's a lot. And so we can be there in a different way, and we can be understanding. Because again, if nothing changes, it means that we've not grown and we've not improved at all. And that's not a good thing, right? It means you've learned nothing. Not good. And it's always good to learn something. And it's always good to get 5 stars on your podcast review, as I said in the beginning. It's always the good, all of that's so good. But I think that's a wrap on the intrusive thoughts. Just for today, we're back. I scared one listener into thinking I was never coming back, but joke's on you. Here I am, never going away, about to be the number 1 ranked podcast in all of America. That's right. Now, before I go, again, I want to thank you all for listening, for giving this podcast 5-star reviews, and for whoever is going to get that $10,000 I'm going to give away to one of you one day. I'll do it. Mark my word. Clip that. Let's save that. But if you'd like to call the podcast and leave a voicemail, that number is 310-909-7117. Call in. You can also text us. Like I said, that was not the right number, and there is a Miguel who is kind of on the loose. Can't find him. And they were just asking when he was going to be into work. And yeah, so if your name is Miguel, they're asking if you will be at, was that it? No, it was not. Hold on, I'm going to look at the text message. Nope, it wasn't work. When are you coming over later today? That's what it was. So it was sort of a friend emergency, not a work emergency. So if you'd like, you can leave a voicemail, you can leave a text message, you can give us 5 stars, and you can just continue to really get your intrusive thoughts out there. I love you, and I will see you next week.